So, when you hear the term CMMC compliance, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For most people, it's checklists, right? Policies, procedures, gathering evidence. But honestly, that's just scratching the surface. The real challenge, the part that trips everyone up, is what's lurking just underneath.
Here's the thing you have to understand. CMMC is one of the biggest unfunded mandates ever to hit the defense industrial base. All the companies that build and supply our military. So you've got to stop thinking about it as just another tech project. It's not. It's a massive, multi-year business program with some serious financial weight behind it. And that leads me to the big question for you. Right now, today, can you honestly say you have a clear picture of your CMMC program? Do you actually know the real budget, the hours it's going to take, and the true timeline to get you audit ready? Yeah. For most organizations, the answer is a hard no. And this, right here, this is what that looks like. This is the typical starting line. 0 out of 110 controls looked at. Maybe 2 tasks out of hundreds even touched. You're basically flying completely blind, in the dark, with no idea where you're going. Now, this total lack of visibility, it isn't an accident. It comes from a really common mistake, treating CMMC like it's just a technical problem. So let's dive into why that creates such a massive and dangerous financial blind spot. So when we talk about CMMC Level 2, what are we really talking about? We are talking about a program that has, on average, more than 662 separate work items. Every single one of those needs a plan, a budget, people assigned to it, and you have to sequence all of it over months, sometimes years. This is not a checklist, my friends. This is a beast of a project.
Okay, so we've set the stage. Now let's get brutally honest about where most companies actually are with their CMMC programs. The numbers might sting a little, but you can't fix a problem you can't see.
Take a look at this donut chart. It's so simple, but it says so much. This is your typical CMMC program. That giant blue area, that's 99% of the work that hasn't even been started. I mean, wow. If that isn't a wake-up call for leadership, I don't know what is. Let's just zero in on this one number for a second. 647. Out of those 662 tasks we talked about, this is how many usually have no budget, no timeline, no resource plan, nothing. So let me ask you, how on earth can you plan a program when you can't even see 98% of the work? The short answer is, you can't. And this is a perfect example of how a tool can make that invisible risk totally visible. See that yellow banner up top? That's not just some friendly reminder. It's a critical business alert. It's basically screaming, hey, your program is a black box. You're not on track for a successful audit. So, what happens when you finally do the math based on real data? You get a number that looks something like this, 49 months. That's over 4 years. Think about that. Most companies are guessing it'll take them, 6 to 12 months? The financial reality tells a very, very different story. And all of this, all that data, it boils down to a maturity score. Level 0.7 out of 5. It's a tough pill to swallow, but it's an honest one. It tells your executives, in a language they get, that your program is basically still on the starting block. You're just beginning to understand the problem. Okay, that was a lot of doom and gloom, I know. But here's the good news. The chaos we just walked through is really just a data problem. And data problems, they have solutions. So let's talk about how we can build a clear, actionable financial blueprint out of all this mess.
Just imagine for a second. What if you could trade in all those spreadsheets, all those unknowns, all that anxiety for a single screen that told you everything you needed to know about the financial health of your CMMC program?
Well, this is it. This is the Executive Financial Report. Think of it as your command center. It takes all those hundreds of little work items and transforms them into financial intelligence. It's your single source of truth for the entire program, and you can get it in seconds. And let's zoom in on what really matters here, the key performance indicators. You can see your total budget versus what you've actually spent. Right here, this program is running under budget. This is the difference between guesswork and real, quantifiable program management. So you're probably wondering, how is this even possible? How do you go from that huge, chaotic list of tasks to this level of clarity? Well, it's not done by hand. The magic behind this is an AI engine that was built specifically to handle the complexity of CMMC.
So this AI basically does 4 key things that are pretty much impossible to do manually at this scale. First, it syncs up and actually understands your evidence. Then, it estimates the cost and timeline for your entire portfolio. It creates traceability, linking every file back to a control. And finally, it builds those incredible executive reports for you on demand. And this slide right here says it all. It's the perfect before and after. On the left, you've got the problem, that long list of tasks with absolutely no financial data. On the right, you've got the solution, a fully detailed work plan, item by item, with hours and budgets already laid out. The AI makes that transformation happen. It brings order from the chaos. So here's the bottom line. What we're talking about is a fundamental shift. It's about moving from guesswork and anxiety to a program that's predictable, manageable, and completely audit-ready. Let's take a look at what that final state actually includes. You see, being audit-ready means having a complete compliance portfolio right at your fingertips. We're talking a full work plan, a full financial blueprint, cost curves, variance analysis, evidence alignment, the whole shebang. This isn't just about checking a box to pass an audit. It's about professionally managing a really complex program from start to finish. In the end, it all comes down to a simple truth. You just can't manage what you can't see. And with CMMC, flying blind just isn't an option anymore. So the real question isn't whether you can afford a tool like this, it's whether you can afford to walk into your audit without it.